Better late than never, I believe, is the expression. Yeah, I was gonna make this video back in December, but there were so many movies that I didn't get the chance to see that I was 99% sure were gonna make it onto this list. So I was like, let's just wait a few months. And 4 months later, I still haven't gotten to see everything, obviously, but let's just get this done with, because there was so many great movies that came out last year, and I can't wait to talk about some of them. So sit back. This is going to be a bit of an unscripted video, so get some snacks, get a drink. I'm going to put on my calm voice, and we are going to go all the way from the bottom to the top. So starting at 51, we have War of the Worlds. No! Yeah, actually, no, we're not. No, we're not talking about this. We're just gonna jump to the top 20. I don't have the energy to talk about anything near the bottom of this list, especially that movie. So coming in at number 20, we have Ballerina. I am not crazy about the John Wick movies. I liked them growing up, but they kind of lost their magic to me, especially by that fourth one. That fourth one had a lot of good stuff in it, but I thought it was really way too long. And this is a spin-off, and I'm just, you're hesitant because it's like, okay, a spin-off, are we just gonna get like 500 spin-offs? And we probably will, but this one was really good in my opinion. It's a great action movie, which I just don't think we get enough of at all these days, just good action movies. And I think it actually has some of the best action out of the John Wick franchise. I'd say the big thing about this one that I found so entertaining is the variety of action. I mean, it's not just shoot, kick, takedown, like the Wick style we've gotten used to, which is impressive, obviously, from a choreography perspective, but it got pretty old after a while. That's why I like the last half of that fourth one, because it gets crazy. There's lots of variations on the action, and this one is a lot like that too, where the action is very different throughout. I mean, there's great hand-to-hand combat stuff. There's stuff with there's a set piece where she's just fighting with grenades. I thought that was super fun. There's a flamethrower, katana. Like, there's just a great variation in the types of action you get, and that to me really helps the movie from being boring. Ana de Armas, she's great in it. I don't really have much to say other than that. All right, up next we have Bring Her Back. This was not something I was expecting to enjoy. Not like I went in thinking I would hate it. I had heard a lot about it before I had seen it. I watched it with some friends for Halloween, and I was horrified, absolutely horrified. I have seen Talk to Me. Talk to Me was pretty good. It was very disturbing, especially that one scene. It was so gross, and I was like, wow. You kind of forget how just that visceral reaction you get when you see just a horrific scene of violence, especially towards kids. I think that's the big thing about that movie and this movie. There's so much violence towards children, and I'm not against violence towards children in movies, but it's crazy to witness, because it still feels like it's so, I don't know, taboo. But the Racka guys are like, I don't care. And the kid in this, all the acting in this, I thought was quite good. Sally Hawkins, she's great in it. I thought she was really good in this. Very disturbing performance. She's just crazy. But the other characters, especially the young boy, oh my goodness. I don't even I can't even wrap my head around some of the things they had this kid doing. It was crazy. It was disgusting. It was horrifying. And those moments were ruined for me beforehand. Like, people told me what they were before I'd seen them. So, and that was kind of all people talked about. They're like, yeah, he does this and does this. And I'm like, ew, that's gross. And then I'm like, but no one ever really said anything else about the movie. So I didn't make a big effort to go see it. But when I did watch it, I really was taken aback at not only the filmmaking, it's a very well shot movie. I think they really have a clear vision, and it's such a just, once again, horrifying and disturbing movie. It's really sad, and it did some things that I was not expecting, especially when it comes to some of the characters. Like, towards the third act, like, there was a very distinct moment where I was like, oh, what? That's that's crazy. And yeah, it was just a horrifying experience. And I mean, that's at the end of the day, when you watch a horror movie, it is nice to be horrified every now and then. And it did its job for me on that front. I thought it was just absolutely miserable, just a miserable time, genuinely. But overall, I had a great time with it, and I'll definitely see what they do next. Up next, we have Warfare. This is maybe a lot like Bring Her Back, probably one of the scariest movies I've seen all year. This movie was crazy in the theaters, absolutely crazy. It's probably the loudest movie I've seen since Civil War, also directed by Alex Garland. I don't know what he's doing with gunfire. It's amazing and terrifying, absolutely terrifying. It's so simple, and it doesn't need to be anything complicated, because the second we make war complicated is just kind of inviting more war, if that makes sense, okay? War is simply two groups of people trying to survive and unfortunately having to kill each other, okay? It's a terrible thing, and I love how much this movie just strips it down. It's just very grounded, you know? There's no real, like, there's characters, obviously, but it's not even like, it doesn't even fall into the war movie cliches. There's no guys being like, you got a wife back home, and he's like, I can't wait to go see my kids and stuff. They're just like, hey, I want to live. Let's hope we make it through this. It's very just to the point. It's simple. I really appreciate that about it. And the sound design, it's horrifying. It's so loud. It's bombastic. And I thought all the performances were great. Got a great batch of actors here. I thought they all did a fantastic job. And just really on a technical level, it was such a powerful experience. I mean, just once things start going down, it was just bullets and screaming, explosions. The screaming especially, like, there was something so real about these characters who had gotten injuries just wailing in pain, and you just felt icky. You felt terrible that they were in this situation. It's obviously based on a true story. I mean, one of the guys who was in this, like, co-directed it kind of, so I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic, horrifying time. I mean, you walk out of that theater like a shell-shocked veteran. Up next, we have Roofman. This is a movie that I did review on the channel, so I'm gonna keep it a little brief, but Roofman is just a fun crime caper. There's so many true stories where you kind of are like, did that really need to be a movie? But this one, you're like, whoa, that's such a interesting story. There's so much to it. That's a story I'd want to see. And this guy who was robbing a bunch of McDonald's, living in a Toys R Us, and all this other stuff. And it's definitely like, I felt like it was really marketed as a comedy, but the movie itself is much more kind of sad and a little somber. It's really just a great Channing Tatum performance as well. I think he's really good in this, and he really kind of carries the movie. I liked all the side characters. They all give great performances, and it was just a fun time. I think it kind of is a little long for what it is. I think just, you know, tighten up that runtime and this would really be a little bit better, but I overall just had a really good time with it. Number 16, Avatar Fire and Ash. You know, every time these movies come out, the discourse has to start again over, are these even good movies? And it's just so like, I don't care. I only want two things with these Avatar movies. Is I want them to look good, obviously, and I want just fun action. And I get that every time. I've only seen these movies once. I've seen the first one once, I saw the second one once, and then I've seen this one once. And they just do their job for me, which is to entertain. I feel like if you come at it from just entertainment level, especially because the market for big budget movies is so out of whack right now, where I'm like, movies don't even look like they cost the money that they say they do. So it's so nice to just see one of these movies, and I'm like, it's amazing what people are capable of. These movies look gorgeous. It is obviously also a very big retread of the second movie, and it doesn't help that I saw the second movie for the first time like a few months before this one. So when the third act starting on this one, I was kind of like, wait, isn't this just the second one again? But I think I like it more than the second one. I think it has more interesting things going on. It is definitely too long, without a doubt. I think there's a lot of stuff in the middle that could get cut out. I'm not crazy about Spider's character. I feel like the movies really want me to like him, and he's not like a bad character, but I'm like, he's not really the one. I'm like, I want to see more Jake Sully. Let me see Neytiri. Or one of the other kids, okay? Like, Quaritch Quaritch is awesome. In this movie, Quaritch, oh my goodness, isn't Stephen Lang like pushing 70? He's amazing. You wouldn't even see it in his performance. Quaritch is like easily probably my favorite character in these. And that's the thing, I like the characters, you know? I feel like that's a big point of contention a lot of the times. People are like, bro, there's like not even any characters in those things. And I'm like, you know, the characters are good. I think, especially at this point, I do like the characters. And I think out of all the Avatar movies, I don't know, it's just like, probably has some of my favorite action. It looks great. Like, I got what I wanted out of it, and I'm happy. But I do hope maybe they do something different than in Avatar 4, because if Avatar 4 is just this one again, which would retroactively be the second one again, yeah, I would be like, okay, come on, what are we doing here? But who knows? Avatar 4, we'll see. What is it? 2029, I think. 2029 is when we're getting it. Up next, we have The Smashing Machine, another movie I reviewed on the channel, so I'm gonna just keep it brief. I really liked this movie. I thought The Rock gave a great performance, and I liked a lot of the filmmaking and just the central character arc of this person, this Mark Kerr. It's something that I just found really inspiring. It kind of touched me on a personal level. I really like how it was all shot. Towards the end of the movie, it does kind of feel like it gets a little melodramatic, and like it kind of starts to not work, and it kind of almost goes a little overboard, and you're like, where did that come from? You're like, where did that come from? But like everything removed from that, I found it very interesting, consistently entertaining. And I hope The Rock keeps trying to do stuff like this. I mean, you know, I know he's got Jumanjis and Fast and Furiouses and more Jumanjis coming out, and that's fine. But, you know, it would be nice if he would just take a crack at some other stuff like this, because I think it'd be great. Up next, we have Frankenstein. I thought this was a beautiful movie. Mr. Del Toro he never really skimps on costume, makeup, you know, production design. Even though this one is a little, I'd say, more CGI heavy than some of his other ones, you know, it's all right. And obviously those departments deserve an immense amount of praise, but is quite a beautiful looking movie. It's another one of those stories where it is just kind of it's a beautiful story. I found it very, I don't know if heartwarming is the word, but it did make me feel things. And I was super happy that I got to see this on the big screen. This played at the theater near me, and I was very happy that I got to see it on the big screen. It really kind of just hit different. I don't know if I would have liked it as much watching it at home. It's not like it would have been that big of a difference, but just watching it on the big screen, especially the stuff with the creature. The stuff with the creature I thought was probably my favorite stuff in the movie. I thought it was beautiful. I think Jacob Elordi's performance is amazing. I loved everything about it. The movie is a little long, I will say. When we're getting to the wrap-up part, I'm like, I think it took a long time to get here. But, I mean, it is really telling the two stories of these two people. And, I mean, I get it. We want to flesh them out. We want to understand why they are the way they are. So I totally get that. Overall, I mean, I had a really good time with it. And I would definitely revisit it, you know. Del Toro, good director. Great director, even. Number 14, we have Superman. I really had a good time with Superman. It's a good comic book movie. I know this movie kind of set the world on fire for a multitude of reasons. It was very fascinating to see why. I mean, you make something so positive and hopeful, and it's pretty awesome seeing the ways people are gonna be like, yeah, this movie is an awful message, you know? It's what I like out of a comic book movie. It's not one of the best, you know. I think the pacing and the structure of it is a little all over the place. I think I heard that they were gonna do like little chapter cards. I heard in a video I was watching, like days of the week, because I think it was gonna be like a week in his life. I think even just that would have really helped, because it is very all over the place. Like when I was watching it, I had no idea what act we were even in at a certain point where I'm like, are we close to the end, or are things just getting started? Like, it was very hard to tell. Overall, though, I had a good time with it. I think David I think he's a great Superman. I think he embodies everything I personally like about Superman. You know, I'm not a Superman expert, but, you know, I've read some comics, watched some cartoons, played some Lego Batman 2 games, and I just really liked his performance. I hope to see this universe grow. I hope it isn't just dead in the water. I hope to really see it flourish, because I mean, I've always been a DC guy. I love both. All right, calm down. But I mean, I was raised I grew up with DC primarily, so I would love to see some of these characters I know and love kind of flourish on the big screen, but we'll see. And just overall, it made me feel good, you know? I left the theater and I was in a feel-good mood, and I was like, wow, maybe we're not cooked, you know? And every now and then, it's nice to feel that in a movie, so I liked it. Up next, we have Mickey 17, Bong Joon-ho's follow-up to Parasite, which was never ever gonna be as good, but that does not make it a bad movie. I had a lot of fun with Mickey 17. Robert Pattinson just continues to show why he's one of the best actors working today. Everyone talks about all of his work post-Twilight, and it should be talked about because his post-Twilight run of movies has just kind of been insane, especially since like Good Time to now. And this year, he's got a crazy busy year. And next year, he's just doing great stuff, and it's all varied, and he's consistently good across it all. I think he's hilarious in this movie. I thought this was a very fun sci-fi movie. I mean, the concept was just interesting enough. I do think the story is a little, for a while, to me, it kind of felt like there wasn't really a story. It almost felt like kind of like a hangout movie, I would call it. Not in a bad way. Like, a lot of the scenes were fun. There's like a dinner scene. I think the dinner scene is hilarious. I think it's probably my favorite part in the movie. And the two Robert Pattinsons, they are great twin performance. You know, this was the year of twin performances, obviously. And I really liked Toni Collette and Mark Ruffalo. I loved what Mark Ruffalo was doing. I thought he was great, over the top, weird. Not like Poor Things weird, but it was still weird. And the movie looked good. Had a fun energy to it. I do think near the end, I liked the third act, kind of. I thought it was a fun set piece. I think a lot of the themes of the movie and what it was going for, like, you could kind of get it, but then like towards the third act, like a character literally like kind of says what the movie's about, and I was like, did we really need that? Especially because like a lot of Bong Joon-ho's movies are so just like, there's so much subtext to the movies, and you could just kind of pick them apart for days. It does kind of feel like this one, you were getting it, but then at the end, the character's like, this is what it's about. And I'm like, I was kind of like, I don't think we really needed that, but I'm just gonna assume that's something we need for these, you know, American audiences, you know? Maybe you gotta say the subtext, okay, in case they're looking at their phone. Up next, we have Eddington. Ari Aster's absolute hodgepodge of social issues in this wonderful dark comedy, social satire. You could call it like it's a Western too. It's a horror movie. It's everything. And I will say, I think maybe the one bit of criticism I could say is it's almost maybe doing a little too much. There are a lot of ideas in here. It is, I wouldn't want to say a full-on mess, but there are some things that I remember seeing. I was kind of like, that part of the movie felt a little undercooked, but I've only seen it once. I do really want to watch it again. I really am liking that Ari Aster's kind of not, I mean, when he came onto the scene, he was like the horror guy, I hate this term, the elevated horror guy, okay? But I like how with this and Beau is Afraid, which I wasn't crazy about. There's a lot of stuff in that movie I do like, but with that in this movie, he's kind of like, I'm not just the horror guy, I'm just the guy who is gonna kind of make movies about whatever I want. And I like that because I think he is a very talented director. I don't feel like his voice is even lost, because he still is kind of retaining that energy from his horror movies, especially in something like this. Like, I love the way he's able to apply that to these topics. The movie is hilarious. Like, it's so funny. If you have the sense of humor for it, I could get it if maybe this is a little upsetting, but I thought it was absolutely hilarious and just great character writing, because like there's so many characters in this where I'm like, yes, I remember that person in 2020. Ari Aster just gets it. He just gets it. And I am really liking this direction of his career, and I just am excited to see what he does next, because so far I feel like his style is working for a lot of different types of movies, and I really can't wait to see what he does next. Hopefully it's with Joaquin Phoenix again. Up next, we have Cloud by Kiyoshi Kurosawa. This is one I got to catch once they put it on the Criterion channel. I was counting down the days. Not sponsored by the Criterion channel, but if you're interested in movies, you should get it. You get a lot of stuff for a reasonable price, for now at least. But I thought Cloud was a fantastic movie. I love Cure. When I watched Cure, I watched it about 2 years ago over the summer, super late at night. Like, it was like, am I gonna go to bed or watch another movie? And I watched that movie, and that movie is so slow and methodical, and in a good way. And there's just so many scenes where you're like, this should have ended like 10 minutes ago. I'm so uncomfortable. That movie was terrifying. Incredible movie. And this movie is also incredible. There's a lot of movies this year that are really kind of about just the modern day, and normally they're not looking at the modern day in a good way, which, I mean, can you blame them? But this is a great movie just about like how kind of unhealthy a lot of these the scalper, reseller, a lot of stuff, culture, internet, just so many things, and how dangerous a lot of it is, how out of hand it gets for like almost no reason, because it's like, yes, I mean, as someone who's been scammed before, it sucks, but also it's like, well, I just assume everyone's trying to scam me, because it's like, they kind of are in a way, you know. I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy nut job, but the ways this movie escalates in terms of its violence is very scary, and it is kind of, in a way, also like a horror movie with that, because, you know, the way this guy, who's not the best person in the world, but does he deserve to die? I wouldn't say so. But this escalation and how many people are after him, it's really scary. And the third act is really intense, but also kind of funny. I don't know if they intended for it to be funny, but there's a character in this movie that just steals the show, and you don't even like see it coming, because you think he's just gonna be like a one-off character, but he absolutely steals the movie, and it's so funny. But I thought this was just a wonderful movie. Up next, we have If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. This was a movie I got to see earlier this year, and I did not know anything about it. There's some movies where I'm like, I'm not gonna try to consume any bit of marketing, trailer, or anything. I just want to go see it. I want to go in blind. And I do highly recommend that for something like this, because, I mean, how do you even describe it? It is about Rose Byrne, who is a severely stressed out, is an understatement, stressed out mother with a sick child, husband's away, and she is just trying to manage all of this stuff. It is very much, a lot of movies on this list I've been describing as like horror movies, because this was a great year for movies that were scary in different ways. This is a horror movie as well. It was made by Mary Bronstein, who is married to Ronnie Bronstein, who works with the Safdie brothers a lot, and you can really feel that energy carried over into this. It is still very much its own thing. It's intense, lots of yelling, so many noises. I love stuff like that. It's just an assault on the senses for like almost 2 hours, and sitting in that dark theater, it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare experience. So many scenarios that I was like, I don't even know what I would do if I'm in that situation. And there's just scenarios like that back to back to back to back. And super funny thing about it too, I remember about an hour into the movie, I'm just like, this is great. And I hear a guy behind me, he fell asleep. I don't know how a guy sleeps through this, but a guy, I hear him snoring. He just, I guess it got too intense for him, and he said, I'm taking a nap. I thought that was very funny, because I was like, of all the movies to fall asleep to, this is the one? I thought that was hilarious. But I loved the filmmaking. It's super claustrophobic. The camera's just always just like on like 30% of a character's face. Like, you don't even get like, you're just kind of like, can I get a wide shot, please? Can I please have a wide shot? Because I don't even know what this room looks like. And the lighting, the acting, Rose Byrne, she is incredible in this movie. She is so good. I've only ever seen her in like comedies and the like X-Men movies, which she is great in, but she is so good in this, so good. And Conan O'Brien, obviously, who is playing just, you're just like, is that really Conan? He looks like he is just miserable, which he kind of is, but he's very good at it. And A$AP Rocky, I thought A$AP Rocky was excellent in this. A$AP Rocky is a really funny actor. If you guys haven't seen Dope, definitely go watch Dope. He's great in that. But the performances all around, it's a very funny movie. It's very dark. It's very It's very miserable too and sad. It's just a hectic time, and I couldn't get enough of it. Up next, we have Begonia, Yorgos Lanthimos' conclusion to his "I'm making a movie every year with Emma Stone" trilogy. That's what I'm calling it. Not a very catchy name. I really had a good time with this movie. I thought it was disturbing. I thought it was funny. It's another one of those movies again where it's like, we're cooked. Us, humanity, we're cooked. I thought the ending was fantastic. I thought it was so funny. I liked all the performances, especially Jesse Plemons. I thought Jesse Plemons was fantastic. He's such a good actor. And I thought he really just kind of gave it all in this. I think him and Yorgos Lanthimos together, they really do great things, because I thought he was some of the best performances in Kinds of Kindness, because, I mean, you know, he plays like 3 characters in that. I thought the story was fun and exciting and just consistently shocking in different ways. And I thought it all wrapped up in a really great way. I mean, people might see the ending as like a big you, but I thought it was hilarious. Up next, we have Weapons. Weapons was definitely the most fun I've had with a horror movie all year. It was a great theatrical experience, especially during that final scene. If you know, you know. Seeing that in the theater was a lot of fun. Like, that's just one of those moments where you do not mind that the audience is getting a little vocal, a little ooh about it, because you're just like, this is what these movies are made for. I love the structure of the movie. I love the directing. I think Zach Krieger's really good behind the camera. It's been talked to death. It's a great movie. Aunt Gladys, great character. I did hear that they're making a prequel, though. I don't think I'm crazy about that idea. I think, you know, the mystique of a lot of some of this stuff is kind of what makes it cool, but that's another topic. For this movie as a whole, James's chapter is the best chapter. Up next, we have a Sentimental Value. This movie, oh my goodness. This movie, within the first like 5 minutes, I was like, oh, so this might be some of just the best editing I've ever seen. This movie is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It is such I'm gonna say it again. It's such a beautiful movie. Every performance in it is amazing, and it makes sense why all of them were nominated, because all of them were fantastic. This is such I don't want to call it an acting movie. I mean, there's acting in it, obviously, but it's such a restrained, just kind of somber film, but it's not even like a showy acting movie. There's not some big yelling monologue scene or anything. There's not the big moment where you're like, oh, that's the scene they're gonna play when they win the Oscar. It's just a lot of really great intimate character moments between this somewhat dysfunctional family and just this weird attempt of the father trying to rekindle all this lost time in a strange way, where you're kind of like, can you just talk to them? Like, is that hard? But then, you know, you see them try to sit down and just have a conversation with family, and you're like, oh yeah, I just remembered talking to family members can sometimes be headache inducing. I love the directing, the editing, once again, absolutely sensational. Like, before the title card even drops, you're like, here we go, this is it. And I just loved everything about it. It's one of those movies where, like, during it I was like, this is really good, and then after I was like, I really liked that. And then when I was putting together this list, I was like, I put it at a spot, and then I was like, actually, and then I'd move it up a few, and then I was like, actually, and then I'm just like, the more I think about it, I'm like, I loved that movie, and I really cannot wait to rewatch it again. I thought it was absolutely, I'm gonna say it one more time, beautiful. Up next, we have Friendship. Friendship is the funniest movie that came out last year. It's the funniest movie I've seen since Bottoms. The comedies don't exist anymore. I'm just gonna say it. Yes, they do technically exist, but comedies don't exist anymore. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. And this movie is absolutely hilarious, except when I saw it in the theater, my friend and I, we were dying. We were cracking up. There's not a peep in the theater, and there was people there. There was so many people, and no one was laughing. And I was kind of like, what? I'm like, am I missing something? Because I think this movie is genuinely hysterical. I love everything about Tim Robinson's sense of humor, the way he delivers jokes. his comedic timing, everything he touches is just so funny, in my opinion. I even need to keep watching that Chair Company show because I think that's super funny too. But I thought Paul Rudd was great in it too. It just has so many good bits, and all of them come from this very real place of like, it does just kind of feel like so many exaggerated scenarios that we would experience in our day-to-day life. Like, the movie feels very relatable, especially because it's just about adult male friendship, which I think is something that has a lot of great comedic avenues because it's such a weird topic that doesn't need to be that complicated, but we kind of overcomplicated it, and that's really where the comedy comes from. And there's just so many great scenes, and yeah, I mean, it just made me laugh so hard. I haven't laughed this much, like, again, since Bottoms, and that was like in 2023. Yeah, it feels great to laugh. I mean, I can't really even elaborate on that. It feels great to laugh. Up next, we have No Other Choice. I just made a review for this recently. You can go check that out, but Park Chan-wook is back, better than ever. He's great. This movie's great. All the performances are great. This also, again, has some of the best editing ever. Some of the most creative editing. Some of these shots are exceptional. It's a great black comedy. Again, another movie to add to the long list of movies that came out in 2025 that showed that we are cooked. Humanity is cooked, unfortunately, but thankfully, we still have great movies, this one included. Excellent direction. Loved everything about it. And up next, we have Marty Supreme. This is another one I've reviewed, but in short, this movie is gonna be a classic. I just rewatched it recently for the 5th time, and I am still loving it more and more. I'm even catching just new little things. 'Cause that's how it was when I watched Uncut Gems. Like, I've seen Uncut Gems probably north of 20 times. There's so many little things you notice about, just because the stories are so chaotic in those movies, but there's so many things where you realize it is just the perfectly constructed mess. Like, everything, it's not random. It feels random, but it's all perfectly placed to just be this domino effect, and it's amazing. This movie is amazing. The editing in this is so good. It's so good. Like, pretty early on, you're just like, oh yeah. And the fact that they're able to keep up that energy for 2.5 hours, it's amazing. The music, oh my God. I don't really want to bring up the Oscars, but not even a nomination. It's crazy. I've been listening to the score nonstop. There are so many amazing tracks. Endo's Game is the best track on there. Endo's Game is so good. Go listen to it. Even if you haven't seen the movie, go listen to it, and then go watch the movie, and then go listen to it again. Okay, do that. Timothée Chalamet. This is probably my favorite performance of the year. It really is. What he's doing here is just like, he's carrying this entire thing like on his back. Obviously, everyone else in the movie is amazing, and the movie is filled to the brim with so many great, just like one scene, one sentence characters. But he plays such a fascinating character who is just a slimeball degenerate most of the time, but there's just enough in there where you kind of go, this guy is interesting. I think there's a little more to him. He's always entertaining to follow, and I just couldn't get enough of this movie. This is the movie where, like, you see a movie and you're like, that's what I want to make. Stuff like that. And I mean, this movie just embodies just like so much of what I love and like the things that I would want to make if I were to make movies on this level. Just such a big story and scope, but it just never loses its focus on just this guy just trying to play some ping pong. It's a little more complicated than that, but it's a great movie. Once again, it's gonna be a classic. I'm locking that in now. It's gonna be a classic. It already is a classic. It already is. It's so good. Up next, we have Chainsaw Man, the Rizark movie, or Chainsaw Man, the movie Rizark. I don't know. The title kind of bothers me. I think it's worded weird. This might seem high, but if anyone knows me, they know I absolutely love Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is one of my favorite stories that I've probably ever read. I think everything about it is just absolutely genius and mind-bogglingly good. And it is such a treat to get a good adaptation. I'm gonna rant here for a second. There are so many adaptations that are terrible or just fine, which is also terrible. Because, I mean, if you're gonna move something from one medium to another, it has to be as good, if not better. And this movie is as good and sometimes even better than the manga. And I just love that. I love that. I've been got just way too many times recently with adaptations where I'm like, I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed. But this movie, it understands. It knows what works about the story, about these characters, about how to tell this story, and it does it all flawlessly. It goes above and beyond. It's a gorgeous looking movie. The animation is insane. My heart goes out to all the animators that probably didn't get to see their families while making this. The industry over there is so just mean, but your work is exceptional. So I hope you know you made an absolute just feast for the eyes. It's a beautiful, beautiful looking movie. I love the colors. I love how it's animated. I love how it's all shot and framed. It looks beautiful. And the action, oh my gosh, the action. The last 30 minutes of this movie is just amazing. To see this on the big screen, this thing got ripped out of theaters immediately. I was livid. I got to see it twice. I wanted to go see a third time, but it was like already out of theaters by like November, okay? And I was mad. But I cannot wait to own this movie because it is just everything that an adaptation should be. It goes above and beyond. It understands what is so good about this story and how to tell it in this way, how to use the medium of film to just maximize this thing's potential. It is phenomenal. And I cannot wait to see how they just keep up this level of quality, because the first season of the show, it's fantastic. It is great. It's a perfect adaptation. This one, even better. And in my mind, they can only go up from here because the source material only goes up from here. And I just think they're gonna I trust the team behind it. I think they all did an amazing job here, and I think they're gonna keep up that energy. And number one, my favorite movie of the year, probably not a big shocker. It's One Battle After Another. This is another movie that I have reviewed on the channel before, but I am going to talk about it here because One Battle After Another is not only the best movie of the year, it is one of the best movies of the decade thus far. A big running trend with the movies we've been talking about, again, is, I keep using the expression that we're cooked, but there are so many movies that came out this year that examined just modern society and a lot of the problems going on right now, and some of them looked at it in a pretty cynical way, which I did enjoy. I mean, not everybody likes to think about the fact that things are not going too well right now. I totally get that, but I always can find the comedy in it because some of the stuff going on is just so blatantly ridiculous that you can't help but laugh, okay? But this movie, through it all, not only does it exhibit a lot of the things going wrong in the world, it also shows us, it just shows us hope, all right? It shows us the great things that could be possible. It has faith in us. It has faith in humanity. This movie has so much faith in not only us, but just the next generation, okay? This is a movie about so many things, but one of the big through lines, parenthood, children, the next generation, okay? The fight that seems to never end and how you can't fight that fight forever, but you have to have faith in the next generation to continue the battle. It's literally in the title, One Battle After Another. That title means so many things, but that's one of the things. It's such a beautiful movie. The emotions in this movie, they just sneak up on you. It's such a rewarding film each rewatch. I've seen it 6 times, and every time I just feel like I learned something new about each of the characters, because all of these characters, I mean, they're so great, and they're so perfectly written and brought to life through the performances. Sean Penn, Colonel Stephen J. Lockjaw is just one of the best villain characters in recent years. There's so much to him. He's so many things. He's hilarious. He's terrifying. He's a tragic character. There's so much to pick apart with not only his character, but his performance. There's so much about him, the way he walks. Everyone's talking about the way he walks, but they should be, because the way he walks is so specific that you just have to be like, that was a decision. And that's a decision I love, okay? It's a ridiculously entertaining movie. And I mean, we got to talk about editing once again, because there's just, the editing in this movie is fantastic. It's a long movie. It's not as long as I feel like people think it is. When I hear people talk about this movie, they keep saying it's like 3 hours, and it's like not that long. I mean, it's like 2.5. I don't know. But it doesn't feel long is the thing. The movie flies by because, you know, you get this energetic first 30 minutes, and then you get a little bit to breathe, and then it's off. And then you're just kind of, it's the end of the movie. You're just like, that just flew by. It feels like a 90-minute movie. I just absolutely adore everything Paul Thomas Anderson did with this. Paul Thomas Anderson, he's my guy. He's my guy. He's been my guy ever since I watched Boogie Nights for the first time on a DVD player, super late at night in my room when I was in middle school after everyone had gone to sleep, and I was just awestruck. And I'm always awestruck by the writing in his movies, the directing, and how he's constantly just almost reinventing himself. He has such a varied filmography, and this just kind of feels like the crowning jewel. This feels like what he's been working up towards, you know. In my eyes, he hasn't made something this big and ambitious since like Magnolia back in 99. A lot of his stuff in the 21st century has been really like kind of intimate character dramas. Normally the most characters you get are like 2 characters. Like there's more than 2 characters, but 2 central characters, you know, going back and forth. That's kind of like what most of his movies have been. But this one, it's like everything. It's like everything. It's an ensemble. It's funny. There's great action. There's great drama. The pacing. Everything that could be right with a movie is in this movie. The music is absolutely exceptional. Love Johnny Greenwood's score. And it is a movie that I think is just going to age wonderfully. It's another one that is destined to be a classic, but I think it's just gonna be a great movie to look back on, just because, again, it has that faith in us. It has that faith in us as humans, just to be like, things are bad, things have always been bad, but they do have the possibility to get better, and the way they get better is through us just trying. Okay, we have to at least try, and we have to have faith in each other, old, young, and I think so much of that stuff is hammered home perfectly. And for all of those just laundry list of reasons I've listed, One Battle After Another is without a doubt my favorite movie of 2025. Oh, that was effortless. Thank you so much as always for watching. Please let me know your top movies from last year, all that stuff. Let me know down below. Thank you so much as always for watching. Please like and subscribe, all that stuff, and I will see you on the next one.